Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things health, happiness and helping you to go after a life that you freaking love living. If you are new here and this sounds like the type of thing that you will enjoy, make sure that you hit subscribe. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button and let's get into this video. Today I am talking to Mama Furfur, Jennifer. I will link down below to her amazing YouTube channel as we talk in all things on money mindset, savings, investments, and how to take back control of your money. This has been split into two parts so that you can take the information and then start to take action on it. So let's get into it. Okay, hello and welcome to everybody who's tuning in today. I'm very, very excited for today's topic. I think because it's something that has been quite a journey myself, and since we moved out to France, finances have been so different to how they were in the UK, and with everything that's going on right now within the world, and yes, we're in the middle of a global pandemic right now, but it doesn't matter whether it is a global pandemic. It could be you losing your job, having a change in career like I did, move countries. Having sound foundations for your money and your financial success is such a huge topic, and specifically I believe for women, because I personally am that person whose husband has always dealt with the finances, and I actually started delving into a lot more around money mindset, and then I have a substantial amount of debt, and I'm like, right, this is it, it has got to go. And I started delving around, and I was on YouTube and I was looking into Dave Ramsey and his 5 steps, and this is where I came across the lovely Mama Furfur, otherwise known as Jennifer, and I started kind of binge watching all of her videos. I'm like, you know what, I've got to speak to this lady. She just taught so much sense, so much practical and really useful information for helping people to really take control of their finances. So I wanted to come and speak to you, Jennifer. I wanted to get questions from my audience and see what their challenges are with money, because I'm all about helping people build a lifestyle that they love, and money is, of course, is a huge part of that, but it's also a little bit of a taboo subject. We don't like to talk about it for some reason. So we are here today to bust it all open and to talk about it. So I've just got a little bit of information of your website. You're actually an IT specialist, and that's like your full-time day job. Is that right?
Yes, I am indeed. Yes, yep. So I am an IT geek. My day job, I've got an engineering degree, so electronic engineering. I designed robots. If you wanted to be really geeky about it, I did that as a past career. But now I manage global IT customers for one of the largest companies in the world. So that is my day job. And then in my free time, because obviously we've got bags of free time, right? I have my YouTube channel and my blog, helping people with money, and in particular, investing and side hustles is my favorite topics to do with money.
Yeah, and I think I absolutely love that. As somebody who is a full-time working mum with 2 boys, and you have still got this side hustle going on, and not just a side hustle, but from what I can see, it's looking like it's an incredibly successful side hustle as well. So like I said, I found her on YouTube, and if you don't follow her, I will put the links to her YouTube down below. It's an incredible resource. There's so many amazing things, information, just free information as well, which is just so valuable to people. I mean, I walked away from that, I'm like, right, I can implement that straight away, and that's really useful stuff, and I love to see that. So can you tell us a little bit more about your story and how you got into giving all of these tools and resources on finance, if your background is in IT? How did that come about?
Yep. Sure. So our background was when my husband and I got together, he actually had £24,000 worth of consumer debt on credit cards and loans. So past marriages, past relationships, as we all had. So in my previous marriage, before I met my husband, I had always dealt in cash, never had debt, grew up, in a good part of Glasgow. I'm obviously based up in Glasgow in Scotland. And so everything was always bought in cash. I didn't use a credit card. I had one, but never experienced that. And of course, then as a couple coming together, I had just given birth to my first child, Nathan, who's 6. And so this debt was something I had never experienced. But my husband had been in the cycle of always having debt throughout all his adult life. It was just, you know, you got a credit card, you maxed it out, you got another one, just an endless cycle of that. And when I realized that this was something that we need to tackle together, it was really the breaking point. You know, those moments, there's something one night, it just kind of like, this has got to change. And I was on my second maternity leave with my youngest, Sam, and I was doing the facts and figures. I was looking at our budget, very much the geek, and I realized I had no choice but to go back to work. I had to go to work to pay a huge amount of, you know, wages to debt only. And that night, I just thought there has to be a better way. There has to be something that people can actively do to get out of debt and just stop this endless cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, because my options and our choices as a family were now being taken from me. I hadn't decided to go back to work or not. I had to go back to work or the bills wouldn't be paid. So that day really was just a catalyst for me on, and it's the engineer, the geek in me, just trying to find different solutions. Let's solve this problem. And so that led me down a spider's web of reading every single finance book I could get my hands on, reading every blog. And as I got deeper and deeper into that, I learned about investing in the stock market, learned about paying off debt, because actively we had to do that. I had to do it smarter. I learned about how to manage our money and get out of contracts and loans and all kinds of things. And the more I realised anybody in the UK that I could relate to. So not just being a woman, which a lot of the writers tend to be men. It tends to be quite a male-dominated industry. Again, I'm not scared by that. I've grown up being an engineer. I'm used to being one of only a few girls, so that doesn't bother me. But the more I found a lack of information for the UK specifically, which is very different from the US, how they deal with money, I just thought, do you know what, I'm just going to pick up a camera and I'm going to start making YouTube videos, and did my blog, YouTube, about 2 years ago now, just over 2 years ago. And in some way, I've now seen this huge wave of people talking about money in the UK, and, you know, mentioned Dave Ramsey, very famous US. But there's been this development in the finance industry because more people are talking about it now. And I'd like to think I was one of the first to really break down investing in particular, really to help people create wealth machines in their life, ways to make passive income, side hustles. So that was really my journey. It was that breaking point. And then I just love helping people like you do. We're not here to really become wealthy. We're here to become wealthy through helping others. We want to use our talents for good. And so that for me, I've always been a salesperson at heart. I like the gift of the gab. I'm Scottish, that's what I do. And so it's just so easy to help people. And so I really pride myself on giving practical information because I've lived through it. I know how to invest. I do it with our family. I manage our money, and I've been through debt. So I've really covered the good amount of hardships people face with money. Exactly. So why not share that journey?
And I think this is the thing, like I watch a lot of YouTube. Like I enjoy watching YouTube. I enjoy recording my own videos, but a lot are, like you say, American based, and they're living in like huge mansions and talking about these things from a very glamorous lifestyle. And I think we all need something who feels relatable. And, you know, talking to my own audience, there's a lot of people who are living month to month, and like you say, it's paycheck to paycheck, and whilst it all seems fine and they can potentially save a little bit up for a holiday, but if anything else happens, like the car breaks down or the boiler breaks, we're just like,
or right now
right away up shit's creek. I mean, for us, could not have come at a worse time. We have just renovated our rental property in the UK, which had a buyer, so it all fell through. So we're now paying like 2 mortgages, one in the UK, one in here in France. So it's been a real challenge for us. I mean, I work with mindset. I'm like, doesn't matter what is happening, we will figure a way through. However, I'm always about learning more, and I want to know more. So and it's definitely highlighted the point of that I'd already decided at the beginning of the year, is that I do not want to be in this financial situation. My debt has got to go. This is it. Stuff has got to happen. However, I'm also of the mindset of we can't, you know, go into this space of like complete frugality, because we have, I think it's very much about finding this balance of still living your life without overspending, because that, you know, overspending in itself can be a self-sabotaging behavior.
Absolutely, yes.
So I think what could be helpful for people is to look at the situation right now. So we're filming this on the 23rd of April, in the middle of a global pandemic. There are people in so many different financial situations. Some are working full time still, some have been furloughed, some have completely lost their jobs, they've lost their businesses. So for people who might be feeling the pressure and the stress of their finances right now, what would be your top pieces of advice? I mean, it's a very general, broad statement, but some things that people could maybe do to pull back, to make savings, just a few tips that people could probably utilize right now.
Absolutely. So if we're talking very, very cold turkey view set, first of all, I would go back to a bare bones budget, or I call it. So that really meant, and you'll be doing the same in your situation, looking at actually what do you need to keep the roof over your head and some level of good food in your belly, the lights on, you know, just we're in survival mode, we're getting through the storm mode. So actually, and you need to budget. It's not sexy, it's not something you want to do all the time, but you need to actually write down what is your income and what is the number of commitment for your money outgoing to make that bare bones budget happen, right? And then basically that equation, if your outgoings is more than your income, we need to think outside the box. We need to do something differently. If you're able to cover your outgoings with your income right now, focus on that. It's all short term. We're going to just make sure. So do that bare bones budget first. Know your numbers, especially as an entrepreneur. You need to know what is the minimum your business needs to be delivering to allow you to function. Because no point, you know, you're giving away all your good talents because you hope customers are coming. No, you need to keep yourself secure and safe. So that would be my first port of call. The other thing I would say is there's another technique. We're trying to think outside the box, and it's actually a really good opportunity to flip it on its head. So although we might be feeling insecure, fear, a lot of the world is in fear, not sure what's happening. The opposite side of that is obviously thinking that there could be a possibility of something different happening. So I like to do, and Warren Buffett, who's a very famous investor in the US, he's about 89 and he's been investing all his life, one of the most successful businessmen in the US. He says that whenever he's got a problem, he'll get a notepad and pen and write down 25 ways to solve it. So similarly with your money, I get a notepad and I would literally go, what are 25 things I could do to bring in more income right now and for the next couple of weeks? So I could work for Amazon Flex, I could sell stuff on eBay, I could launch a course, I could write a book. So you write 25, and then at the course of that list, pick one to absolutely commit to, because I believe in the mindset that money is unlimited. I believe that we're all incredibly resourceful, that at any notice, especially women, we're very resourceful, we know what to do, we can always solve a problem. And you know, in those moments, the inspiration will come that you had maybe disregarded in the past, but this time you're like, no, I really, just for short term, I'm going to try this. So it might well be, if you're looking after the kids during the day, you're going to dedicate an hour or two every night for the just next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I'm going to write this book, or I'm going to do this course, or I'm going to try and get one more client, because everything hasn't stopped. You can still think. So that would be my next set, is can we work on not just survival mode, we'll get that locked down. Let's use it as an opportunity to bring one more income source in. And even if you've not got an online business, or you've not thought about being an entrepreneur, there is plenty, especially in the UK, there's plenty of companies desperate for people just for even a couple hours of your week, a couple hours of your day, short term. So, you know, there's no shame in doing Amazon Flex, delivering Domino's pizzas, whatever you need to do just to get through short term.
I watched a video of yours actually, and you did a whole video on this, on how you could potentially bring in £1,000 a month. And I just thought, it's not about being leave your ego at the door. You know, what have you got to do if you've got to take on another job? And like you say, although we see a lot of crisis happening on the news, there are a lot of industries that really are starting to thrive now, and it might think about, you know, thinking outside of the box and what else is available. So again, I'll link that video down below for anybody who would be interested in that. Really great. I'm sorry I interrupted you there. Was there anything else coming?
The last thing I was going to say was, I think you'll be surprised doing those two exercises, and you can do with this your business as well. You can do your personal life, and absolutely your business, your passion, do it with that as well. But these additional ideas that you'll get actually could be your next level, that you're, you know, it's going to open up something to you. Because I think I call it paralysis analysis, where you get stuck in the moment, and it's kind of coming away from that and saying, right, well, I know I'm really capable of doing something different now. This is my chance. And, you know, worst case, that, you know, if you only do it very short term and it doesn't end up the route, something else could open up. So it's almost getting yourself to take an action in some way to change your surrounding. And certainly in my situation, I'm able to work full time, which is fantastic. We're making sure we're doing bare bones budget, but I'm also keeping a cash reserve where I can, and everything else is normal. So, you know, don't change your habits just because there's something going on in the world. This is your time to thrive, and just maybe slightly change things, but keep the focus.
Yeah, I did a video on this actually yesterday. Is that people are like, panic, stop doing everything, do something completely different, where it's no, double down on the things that you know are helping to ground you and to keep you in control, and just look at how maybe you could amplify that rather than taking a complete pivot, because that's kind of like stop everything, turn in the opposite direction, and it takes more to get it going again, rather than if you just really focused in on something. And yeah, I think that's a really great, and again, it's this mindset. While some people are, you know, completely in panic, there's other people that are saying, oh, I'm actually saving loads of money here and I'm not spending on anything. I realize that I can survive on a lot more. And, you know, that could be two people on the same level, but one's like panic and I can't have anything versus, oh my gosh, look how much I'm saving. So again, it does come along to that mindset and not going into a space of panic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just checking on my questions because I got some coming in. I did ask some of my members from my audience some of the things that they had, and I had one coming from Sue. Now she said, well, she doesn't hit the poll options that I put in. She has very old debts, payments plans, but has savings, and she'd like to know about the best ways of clearing debts, whether that is looking at repayment offers, whether it's consolidation companies. What would be your best advice for people who've got long-standing debts on credit cards or loans or whatever?
Okay, sure. So the great thing is, I believe that you don't require somebody else to do it for you. I think we can tackle it. If we can meet at least the minimums, there's ways to tackle it head on. So if you're looking at options for consolidation companies, or, you know, different agreements with debt agencies, they will include extra money for them actually solving it for you. So a lot of the time, unless it's a charity such as I think Christians Against Poverty, there's a couple of charities that are free of charge that will help you in other ways, but certainly a lot of companies, they need to make money in some way, so they will be including quite expensive charges for producing you a plan and working with your creditors. So that's why I would say that would be the extreme if we really can't cope, because you will be paying a premium included in the money for that. There's two very famous ways that Dave Ramsey talks about, is the snowball method and the avalanche method. So essentially what you need to do is think of it like anything else to do with your household income. Write down all your bills. This may require phoning some people, unfortunately. Write down all your bills you need to pay, your credit card, your loans, all your debts. Write down the percentage as well, how much interest you're getting charged. You find out the minimum repayment you need to make every month. And then with those numbers, we can actually work out how long it will take you to systematically put a lump sum and work your way through all the debts. So there's the one method I mentioned called the snowball, is basically you tackle the smallest debt first. So let's say you can afford £100 or £50, you'd attack the smallest debt until that's gone, and you would only meet the minimum payments of everything else. And then basically you carry on, and the whole point is like a snowball. It starts small, but then you slowly build up and you've attacked all your debts.
I've read about this method. It seems a bit counterintuitive, but it's more of a psychological...
It's a mindset one, yeah, exactly. So my personal favourite one, so that's the one that Dave Ramsey mentions, because people do see their mindset, they're eating up their debt ledger. Yeah, exactly. I prefer the avalanche method, which is actually do the same principle, write down all your debts, the interest payment that you need to make, percentage and minimum payment, but you use a little bit of calculation in the background, and you actually work out which debt is costing you the most every month. So if I actually perhaps attack the biggest debt first with my amounts, I'll save myself money long term rather than tackling the smallest. So what you can go online, just do a Google search for Avalanche method, and basically it's a way to kind of block your debt payments, tackling which one's the most efficient to keep the most money in your pocket. And that would really, I really say do that, one of those methods, because you want to have a debt-free date. So knowing exactly, if you commit to a certain amount of money in your budget, what date and time will you be debt-free? And that's an incredible, again, mindset tool. You see
Goal
a debt.
setting.
Exactly. You see a date, and half the time, as it did with us, we saw a debt-free date of like 5 years away or 6. And I'm like,
no,
I'm
not
going to make that happen quicker. And so we smashed it within like 3 years rather than 5 years. So that's the beauty of it. You've got to think of it like if you were trying to lose weight, perhaps you wouldn't say, well, I need to lose 4 stone tomorrow and that's it. No, you would do it step by step and have a plan. So do the exact same. It's really, I'm going to say something that's probably a little bit controversial from Dave Ramsey. I do not believe debt is a bad thing. And I'll say that with caveat. I just believe that you've made a choice long term to pay off something with a premium, okay? It's not to say that I think you should get into debt in future. I'm just saying, like, kind of forgive yourself for the choices that you maybe made in the past. So take it as a fresh. You're not going to debt anymore, not going to add to any more, and we're going to get out of this debt. Like, really take responsibility. And I really do believe if you know all your facts and figures, that you can manage it completely yourself. If you are struggling, you can't make your minimum payments, please speak to your creditors. If you phone them up and have an honest chat, often they will agree to lower terms because they want you to pay it back.
Right, that's interesting.
Yep, so have a conversation, have a human phone call. Utilities companies and people like that might not be that accommodating, but generally credit card bills, loans, they do want you to pay it back. So, and make those commitments. If you're
because that's the thing, I suppose if you declare yourself bankrupt, then that's not helping anyone, does it? So
yeah, exactly. So even if it's £1, £5, whatever you can manage, if you're still not able to agree with that, then you might need to seek other alternatives. But to be honest, I really would want anything like bankruptcy or agencies getting involved. I really want that to be your last option. Go out there, hustle, get an extra income. Let's do this and smash it and never do it again.
I really hope you enjoyed this first part, but we are just getting started. So make sure that you come back to check out part 2, where we dive a little bit deeper into creating a budget and developing the tools and resources to help you get a system into place that's going to work for you. So make sure you hit subscribe, and we shall get into part 2 very soon.